Kiefer Sutherland. I'm sorry, I have so much trouble saying that. We're having trouble with names this morning of 24. Chris Noth from Sex and the City and The Good Wife. They're moving now from the small screen to Broadway, part of the all-star, all-male cast in the first Broadway revival of the classic play, That Championship Season. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks so much for having us.
See, you guys have had so much success in television, in movies. What was it about this play that drew you back to Broadway? It's your first time, right?
No,
your first time.
It's my first time on Broadway. Certainly not my first time on stage. For me, it was a combination of the play, which is unbelievably relevant today, even though it won the Pulitzer and the Tony in 1972. There are things that are said and echoed throughout the play that I feel are unbelievably current.
Yeah, it was written just after Vietnam, right before Watergate. What is it that resonates today for you?
Oh, wow. It's just about, there's a line in the play where the coach says nothing but the date changes, you know.
70 technology and
you know,
progress, yeah.
72, 73 was we were still in Vietnam. We were at the end, kind of about the same time period of the Iraq War.
Tough economic times.
Tough economic times. People just weary with the money and the debt and the death. But I mean, that's a kind of this play is such a personal play on so many levels.
On an emotional level, it deals with four men kind of in their late 30s, early 40s who are dealing with their fear of becoming irrelevant. And this coach, played by Brian Cox, who has held them together for 20 years, is using this reunion as a way to bring them back together again.
We were playing Glory Days in the last half hour, and this is guys reliving their glory days on the basketball court, but it shows also what happened to their relationship. Let's show just a little bit of it.
George is taking good care of you, Phil. I paid for it. My money got him elected last time.
There's more to it than that, and you know
it. Is there?
Yes, there is. See this suit? $100. Where's a silk tailor-made? $300, huh? I drive a 10-year-old Ford. Every year you get a new Cadillac. 5 kids, one a genius maybe. I support my alcoholic brother. Shut up! You're an alcoholic, a marathon drunk. I am working my ass off for George's victory because I want my share of the spoils.
The competition continues. It's so raw.
I thought the wonderful thing about doing a play was that you didn't have to watch it. It was so fantastic. Films you got to watch, TV you got to watch, and they managed to still get you.
You've been in previews now, I guess, for a couple of weeks, right?
This is our second week.
How do you get the chops back after going from TV and movies?
I've always felt the dynamic of acting doesn't change. The defining of a character, the finding character, and how that character fits into the story, those skills actually travel very well from medium to medium to medium. It's technique. It's a voice technique. It's a physical technique that changes from medium to medium to medium.
I think stage also takes the most out of you, but it gives you the most back as an actor, having to do it every night. And you know, we're not machines. You give 100% of your willingness. You may not get 100% every night,
but it really does change every night.
Yeah, it's improvisational almost. You don't change the words, but you're working moment to moment, and it may be a different moment that is a revelation to you. But on one night, that's you know, still within the context of how it's been directed. It's a great teaching tool for an actor. I try to do a play a year just to keep that sense of memory almost of stage work.
And the audience has a profound effect on what you're doing as well.
Yeah, I mean,
we've had audiences that came for a good night, and the play went in a direction towards that, again, within these boundaries.
Does the audience ever surprise you?
All the time. All the time, I mean,
you can't get trapped by, we've had audiences that are just laughing uproariously, and then the next night they may just be listening, and you can't get trapped into thinking that the show is really doing badly because they're not laughing. And this is the kind of show that has a lot of laughs that aren't, it's not a comedy, but there just happen to be some really incredibly funny moments.
We saw it right there.
Right.
And in another layer of texture to all this, the play was actually written by one of your co-stars' fathers, Jason Patrick.
And Jason and I had done Lost Boys 25 years ago. We've been friends for 25 years. And I wasn't even aware of that until the last few years. I was aware that Jackie Gleason was his grandfather, but I was not aware that Jason Miller was his father.
And so that's something that's actually been amazing. And I think Jason has handled himself amazingly well with allowing everybody else to have their own interpretations of what something means and not saying, well, my dad meant this and my dad said this. But he's also been there for help in that regard.
But what an emotional experience it must be for him every single night.
Unbelievable,
and for us too, to be with him in this experience.
Well, and he's got things hidden around the set that were that are aspects of his father and little touchstones for him, and I could see him kind of look at some of those on shelves and things here and there before the play will start.
When I go see it, that's interesting. Before we go, we have a pretty obsessive producer who's named her cat Jack Bauer. Naaman. I think you're going to show the cat right there. And what the cat wants to know, she's an obsessive 24 fan, is there going to be a 24 movie?
Yes, there is going to be a 24 movie, and that looks like a very tough cat.
It is a very, very tough cat. Killer cat. Okay, Kiefer Sutherland and Chris Noth, thanks both.
Thank you very much for having me.